my journey began? It's graduation time. Family is very important to me, including my puppies. The Marine Corps played a huge role in my life and allowed me to be ambitious, inspiring, a mentor, and achieve all of my goals. As a financial expert, I've received multiple awards, done various events as a guest speaker all over the U.S. with my platform of creating healthy financial habits, along with having my own business, all leading up to my show. Come along for the journey.
Hello, Gems, and welcome. For the month of April, we will be discussing different services that entrepreneurs provide to the public. These services and the extra care they put into them set them apart from their competitors. Here are some statistics about the services our next guest provides. There are approximately over 20,000 barbers in the United States as of 2019. Community colleges and private technical schools offer barbering programs that require at least 1,500 to 1,800 hours for course completion, or right around 10 months. Program costs vary significantly by school, from around $2,000 to more than $11,000. All reputable programs are geared towards preparing students to pass their state licensing exams. The average annual salary of a barber is between $38,000 and $49,000. However, the price a barber charges for their customers depends on their location, type of license they have, cost of living in the area, and other variables. A barber can earn six figures if they are in a specific demographic location that supports a higher price per service. Now, keep in mind, you pay for the quality of experience you expect each customer to receive. The cost of a barber chair ranges from $400 to over $6,000 per chair. You like that comfy chair that you sit in when you go for your cut? Know that your barber took the time, energy, and money to give you that experience. Now, here is a short video our guest is sharing with us today.
How you doing? My name is Dixon, also known as KleanKut, and I'm not your average barber. Let me show you how. So click the link in the bio and let KleanKut Grooming Lounge serve as you.
Thank you for sharing. Now, for today's guest, he has achieved multiple awards and trophies for his mastery and barber skills, to include the following: 2018 DC Barber Expo first place winner for fade and beard. 2019 DMV Illest Barber first place winner for crispy Caesar with waves battle. 2019 302 shout out to Delaware Barber Combat first place freestyle design. 2019 KIXK Jam first place total look competition, and 2019 Baltimore Barber Battle Expo third place freestyle design, to name a few of his achievements. He will be featured in Glamour fashion magazine later this year, so look out for that. Now, he was born in Washington, D.C. He always wanted to be an artist as a child. What he enjoys most about his career is being able to make people feel good about themselves. He also enjoys meeting and talking with different people on a daily basis. His favorite source of meditation is prayer. Really like that. And he does miles on his bike around the city, which is also therapeutic for him. Now, in the house, he normally cuts everything off and sits silently with his eyes closed, taking deep breaths and going through his thoughts until his head is clear. Love those meditation styles. He currently resides in PG, Prince County, Maryland, So, Gems, let's welcome Eric KleanKut Dixon and owner of KleanKut Grooming Lounge to the show. Eric, how are you?
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. My goodness. I was like, he has so much going on. I love it. I love it. I love it. So for my Gems, just a little tidbit. I've known Eric since about 2011. So watching him just, cut hair since the hospital and off the route, coming to the state of Delaware, winning champions here, and then going back home and be like, I'm going to win over here. So let me tell you, he is a phenomenal person to know. And I'm so delighted he's on our show today. So enough about that. I want you to learn more about him. So Eric, let's go ahead and get started. So how does your story begin? How did you get into cutting hair?
Man, so once upon a time ago, unfortunately, it's a bad story, but I visited a barbershop that's normally not the barbershop I normally go to, and I had my hair cut with dirty clippers,
right,
which formed a condition called dissecting cellulitis that took my hair out, So after a while, I stopped, going to barbershops, and I learned how to cut my own hair.
Right.
And it just, the story goes from there.
Right. So with that, it's a specific type of pathogen that you had, correct?
Yes. It's a pathogen condition, scalp condition called dissecting cellulitis, which is like a boil that pretty much affects the hair follicles.
Yeah, so just to let them know, because a lot of people, I've done a segment on that specifics, keeping the place where your services clean. And just to let them know, this wasn't just a rash that he has. This is a rare scalp condition that you actually had to go to the hospital for. Is that correct?
Yes. It's a very painful experience, and it's permanent. Because it's rare, but which is why I'm bald to this day now. But I think I'm rocking it okay now. So, but maybe the man I am today.
Absolutely. So how has having this pathogen affected you? I know that you mentioned, you're bald, so not being able to grow your hair out.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I have to stay permanently bald, which is fine. And the pain I went through with just dealing with it, man. It's no joke. It's very painful. It's a lot of discomfort, and something I definitely had to battle through a lot until I was able to get a control of it.
Absolutely. And then what do you do to kind of keep your scalp healthy? Do you have a specific routine that you use?
Absolutely. I definitely do a lot of exfoliating.
Right.
Gotta exfoliate the scalp. It's like I said, skin to skin. You definitely got to take care of your skin completely. So I do a weekly exfoliation system that I have, and just keep it shaved every day and keep it moisturized.
And moisturize and sunblock.
Yeah, sunblock. Gotta have sunblock, especially man during the sun, because everything's exposed. So your scalp will be affected if you don't protect your skin properly.
Absolutely, because the sun, people always forget, like you said, skin is skin, and skin is everywhere. We tend to just think of our arms or just here, but when you have an exposed scalp, that is exposed skin, and the sun will suck out all that moisturizer and dry it up 5 minutes that you've been outside of the house if you don't keep a good routine. So thank you. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing that routine with us. And it was a teachable moment for you.
A very teachable moment, yes, and which led me down the path that I'm on now.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, it was just pros and cons to it. So I'm happy. So
yes. So let's go ahead and talk about that path. So how did you start building up your clientele?
So I started cutting my own hair, like I said, and
right.
Then I started cutting a few friends and family members for free, just to, and then, over time, I just, it was just practice, and I got good at it. And over time, it became a side hustle, while I, like something I was making like a little bit of money on the side. And then until it became a passion over time.
Absolutely. And, I always tell my entrepreneurs, when you start out small. So you were doing this at home?
Yeah, man. Start out in the bathroom
Yep.
to working out of my dad's basement. I built my own barbershop inside the basement where I was just kind of like, just cutting a few folks and then, start making a little bit of income.
Absolutely. And, I always tell people sometimes we kind of get into our own space about, you were cutting hair in the bathroom, but they're there for your service. And
Yeah,
they're there for the product and the experience. So if you make your bathroom a great experience, they're going to come to your bathroom every
yeah,
time to do that. And it also gives you still time to catch up with every client. And we'll get to that in a little bit because they're definitely going to learn a lot about that. So when did you start to get serious about becoming a barber? Because you started out cutting for free, families and friends, and then how did you like that aha moment where you decided, okay, now I'm going to be serious?
yes. So one day I was invited to a hair show, which I got really inspired by it. I'd never been to a hair show first time, and I had the pleasure of meeting Diddy's barber,
Right.
and he was doing a seminar, and he was basically speaking on barbering and how it's a great career path, and then I actually I had the opportunity to sit and talk with him about
That's
the
awesome.
career path, and it just gave me that boost, and then just took off running.
Absolutely. And you watched tons of YouTube videos?
Tons of I've stuffed my brain with YouTube videos, just studying different techniques, tools, how to do certain cuts and styles. And I just kept on doing until I perfected it.
I like it because, people always look, it's so easy to look at where you are now, but you got to learn all of that. Like that doesn't happen overnight.
Of course.
It's a skill that has to be crafted. I wish we could all just wake up and Jewel was now a financial specialist and Eric woke up, was born just into this. No, it's something you have to take time out of your day to turn your passion into a purpose and then be able to do it for a service. So I love those stories. So your first shop was in your dad's basement?
Yes. It started off, friend, she gifted me, her mom gifted me a chair, a barber chair.
Yes.
And I just kind of worked around it. I kind of like bought certain stuff. I had like a kind of like a fault, like it's a regular like lamp light and a floor lamp light, and I just kind of built around the chair and just kind of created my little shop that was down there, and people came through. It was a spot.
Absolutely. Of course, they were going to come through. And so then you went back to the school. So, what was the cost of your barber school?
Yeah, so I decided to go back to school because I really wanted to take this very serious, and I knew
Right.
this is what I wanted to do. So I said I know I had to go back to school to be licensed so I can push forward with my career.
Right.
So the cost of school was about I had financial aid, which was about 14,000,
Right.
and financial aid. I went to school for a year and a half and completed it, and went on to push through with my career.
Absolutely. And there's one thing that you left out, but I know my gyms and your fans want to know, as that you were doing so good when you graduated, you already had a job. You had a booth
Yeah,
space.
yes. I'd like to get a shout out to Vasan from First and 10 Barbershop. He reached out to me while I was in school.
Yes.
He saw a lot of the cuts I was posting, and he said he was a big fan of mine, and it threw me up like big fan of mine,
Yeah.
okay. And then he offered me a job. And then at the time I couldn't take it, but then he waited for me to graduate, and I was like, okay. And as soon as I came out and got my license, he had a chair ready for me.
I like it. And what was like the booth fee, your initial booth fee? And then how did that quickly go up as your clientele grew?
Well, I had a little bit of clientele already from
Right.
prior working in the basement, but being there, he allowed me to work there for I guess he started it off with at 50, and then over time, as my clientele grew, of course he raised the price, the weekly price of the chair, which is understandable.
Right.
But my clientele grew so fast, and he was just kind of like, hey, and I just started paying. It went from 50 to 175.
Absolutely. And, I tell, all my gyms that when you grow, all your expenses will grow with you. You can't stay put and expect to be over here. They're going to go, but you're bringing in enough income to cover it. So good for you. So eventually you save up to have your own place.
I did. Yes. So I was probably in the barbershop for maybe almost 2 years until, I started to, really see the big picture in business and understanding business, and I wanted my own. I always have.
Yeah.
And I branched out and got and bought my own barber suite.
I like it. Always knowing it's time to expand. Because I always say, we always know like when it's time to go to the next step. When it's a learning phase, okay, I need to stay put. But then it's like time for growth and time to move on. So you have your secluded space in a barber suite. What was the initial investment for that?
The initial investment for the barber suite, well, we normally would work out a contract, and of course over time, it's like a yearly thing where we have to renew, and it's about $800 a month.
Right.
But of course, like I said, I had to invest in a lot, like my logo, my LLC. I had to invest in like life insurance, business
Yes.
insurance. It's a lot. I learned a lot over time about entrepreneurship and the things that comes along with it, and the things you have to have when when starting your business. So that was a learning curve for me when I stepped out on my own.
Absolutely. And, I tell people too, and you said it, guys, you heard it from Eric yourself, business insurance, life insurance. Yes, sometimes people tend to not put those two together because, oh, I'm just starting this over here. I'm doing that. No, this is you. This is an extension of your life, especially when it's tied to your meaning of bringing your services to that. If that were to go based on a fire, based on, like I said, I've had a client, electrical, due to no fault of your own, electrical wiring, and it started a fire. You need to have, that's what business insurance does, not to mention all your other, mother nature things on top of, people who may, steal, people who, just come in and want to do destructive things. That's what business insurance, I can't harp on that enough, is why you have that. So kudos to you for even digging around to learn all those stuff. You said, your bookkeeping, your business account. And I know this is one of your favorite things, your credit score and credit report.
Yeah, listen, I just learned like a couple of years ago and understood credit thoroughly. We wasn't taught this, unfortunately, coming up.
Right.
So I had to learn over time by being a business owner and understanding how important credit is and building it, and also having a good credit and understanding that credit, having a great credit score can put you in and give you create opportunities for you to grow your business even more and expand to other places. It's very important, and I highly suggest people understand and learn credit.
Absolutely. It's one of those things we always hear about it. You got to have a credit score. You got to have this, monitor your credit report. But when it becomes part of your business, then the importance of it, because that score is the difference between someone giving you a long interview about borrowing money or just saying, you know what, Mr. Dixon, oh, look at your credit score. Okay, no, you qualify for this amount. The next question is literally, do you want the full amount or what do you want? There's no... Yes, there's no more, how much can you do a month? No, it's literally, do you want the full amount or what do you want? Or my favorite, do you need an increase? So that is, that is the importance of having the good credit score, knowing how to read it, and then going through your credit report to make sure you're going through all that. So I love it. I love it. I love it. So we're going to shift to a few things just for a hot second. So how did you start incorporating mental health into your studio and opening up the dialogue with clients? Because when I saw that you started doing that on IG, I just was like, that's amazing, because mental health, like I said, we both worked in the hospital. Even if we were on two different components, you're still in that environment, and being able to reach out to people is a phenomenal platform. So how did you decide to do that and incorporate that into your practice?
Well, it was something that just kind of happened, like I said, the way I have my suite set up is very intimate, and it's just me and my client. We talk about everything. We talk, and it started with me being transparent with my struggles throughout life, and speaking on, like, just relating to other men about everyday struggles, the things we have to go through, and just talking about me going to therapy and how therapy helped me. And
Right.
I talk about it a lot. A lot of guys and women, they look at that and just like, wow, because it's not unheard of. A lot of people, it's a stigma on it.
Right.
And they're not used to hearing people talk about therapy, and the fact that hey, I go to therapy every week. And it just opened up another door of conversation, and people just, we started having a conversation that we should have been having for a long time.
A long time.
Yeah.
And I love that because sometimes our personal experiences allow other people to open up, knowing that they're not the only one out there that's going through this or has gone through it. Even though we hear statistics on mental health, but sometimes it's you can still feel like you're the only person going through it. And when you, like you said, you have a very intimate space where you can allow for that comfort for them to open up and hear you. So definitely good for that. Another one of the things I wanted my gyms and your fans to know is finding the right therapist can be difficult. So how long did it take you before you found the right therapist that complemented what you were looking for?
Well, the important thing that people need to know, you have to find a therapist that fits you. Now, and it's okay if you go to a therapist and it doesn't feel right. If it doesn't feel right, then it's okay. You can go and seek another therapist. And actually you can tell that therapist and they can actually help guide you to the right therapist. So it's okay. It took me about maybe a year
Yeah,
until I found the therapist that fit me. And I went through like three therapists.
yeah.
And I've been with her. She's been great. And I've been with her for the past almost 7 years now.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love it because I hear stories and people give up. You know, they talk to one therapist, they're like, they didn't get me. They had no idea what I was going through. They don't even know where I'm from, and they just give up. But how long does it take us to even find our friends that get us? You
Right.
know, building those relationships and partnerships, especially when you are sharing such vulnerable information, can take time. And you don't get it right on the first time, maybe not the second time, like you said, in the third. And then you're like, when you find it, it's a good feeling and you feel like you can open up. So I definitely wanted to share that with them, just to let them know not to give up. Don't give up. You keep going until you find it. And like you said, ask your therapist, hey, do you know someone else that you might can refer me to? And they are, for the most part, therapists are really, really good referral systems. And they'll say, hey, you know what? I want what's best for you. What about this person? This person may be a better fit, maybe a better partnership for you. So don't be scared to ask either.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it all. So did the mental health conversations come natural to you? You know, now that you're in the suite and you got the client and they're like, whoo, because I know that's what I used to do in the salon. Like, oh my goodness, you just start going and then, being able to shift to a mental health. So did that come natural to you?
Yes, it did. It came natural because, of course, going, attending therapy, it made me look at the world different, made me look at myself different. So now it's just, I have a sense of comfort where I feel better about myself. I feel
Yeah.
better about everything. I've learned to look at life and people in it differently, and so I just talk about it. It's just like, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, everybody have something that they're battling with. Why? What am I hiding for? So if I have something I know I can give to people, yeah, I speak on it, but I use myself. And I'm open with myself because I'm comfortable with myself.
There you go.
Right.
Self-confidence. And tell me about the thank you received from a client, because this is huge.
Yeah. So this is what let me know that I was actually, affecting people and I didn't know. I had a client who just pulled up. He didn't have an appointment and he just reached out and he was just like, hey, I know I don't have an appointment, but honestly, I'm just here to say thank you. And I was like, I didn't know before. He was like, the conversation we had last time, he said, I was in a real bad spot,
Yeah.
and you really helped me see things differently, and it prevented me from making a very, very bad decision. And I just want to say thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother, and all that. And that's when I was like, wow, I had no clue. I was just literally just talking to him and just giving him advice, and then just using me as an example and how to do things a better way.
Yeah, but that's how impactful that one conversation is.
Yeah.
We hear these stories on just like yours. Yours is truly a testimonial. I say it's a story, but really it's a testimonial on you didn't know what he was going through when he sat down in your chair and got the cut, but you just saying, you know what, I'm going to talk about it. You help this individual so much, and often anytime that we are open up, we don't know how many people we help and how many people you put a smile on their face when they left. How many people when they left and they said, Eric got my hair looking good and I felt a little bit better about myself. My self-confidence may not be a 10 out of a 10, but it's definitely not a 0 out of a 10 now. So kudos to you.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Like, you come get your hair cut, man. Why not like look good and feel good at the same time? That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. I love it. I love good testimonials. So another thing that Eric does is you surround your studio with positivity, with words of affirmation on the walls and positive energy. So how does this change the atmosphere? Because I, just like you've gone to different salons, barbers, and there's all different types of decor based on what the vibe that they want. So determining that you wanted this for your decor and your vibe, how did that change the atmosphere when people come to you for your services?
Well, it kind of just happened. Like, I didn't, when I was kind of putting my place together, I didn't know what to do with the wall. It was just all black. And so I was just like, I don't know. And then someone gave me an idea. It's like, hey, you should write on the wall. And then I'm like, maybe you're right. And then a client wrote something to me, just like a congratulation, but then they wrote some positive words on just, basically just, hey man, congratulations, man, keep on striving, keep on doing this and that, and never forget to pray, keep, stay prayed up, this and this and that. So I was like, wow, okay, wow. And then I saw that, I'm like, I'm gonna buy a white marker, and of course I wrote a lot of some things on the wall as well, but I allow my clients to do it because it's more so like a gift that keeps on giving. So a lot of my clients have words of affirmation that they live by, so I passed it to them, and it kind of caught on because they saw it, and then they was like, "Oh, I want to do this. I got something I want to put on the wall," and it just caught on. Everybody was writing on the wall, and it filled up in like almost 2 months.
Love it. I
Nothing but
definitely.
full of positive words, positive messages to me, or just to pass on to others, and I use it, and it's something I look at every day, and I want my clients to look at that when they come in, because some people don't want to talk. They may see something on my wall that actually help them with their issue that they're going through right now.
I love it because your atmosphere changes your environment and it changes the vibe with us. So by you creating that, it's kind of hard to sit in the chair, even though they may have a bad day. I mean, got the worst phone call, just everything. And then you're sitting back in your chair and in front of you can say something easy like, think positive thoughts. And you're like, okay, I always have a good sunshine day, positive stuff. And you can't read it and just not absorb it. So kudos to you for not only being able to talk about it and visualize it with your clients. So that is just a one-stop shop that everyone needs to go to and experience. So finally, what are your future goals for your brand?
Yes. So I'm working on some big things.
Yeah.
My goal is to expand KleanKut Grooming Lounge into an workspace opportunity and create other entrepreneurs. So create a space where I allow other entrepreneurs to come in and build their brand and build their business. That's one of the things I definitely want to do. I definitely want to, educate people on financial literacy. I feel like once information is key,
Mm-hmm.
and I pass it on to my family. Every information I get about, I find out about financial literacy, I pass on to my family, have them understand it. Because like I said, we wasn't taught about this. So I want to, educate people on financial literacy. I want to continue to teach a lot of my skill that I've learned to the newcomers that's coming up, so they can be successful and apply it. Apply their talents with other clients that they have, and just definitely, man, just see where the sky's the limit. You just push through and push forward. We recovering from COVID now, so I just want to basically be able to, and also be able to give classes and provide classes for people so they can learn a lot of these things as well.
I love it. One-stop shop, positivity, you get the classes, you get the skills, and you get the training and education from financial literacy, which I love. My favorite thing. So I love that.
I love it too. It's a passion.
Yes. And following your passion and creating the space that will allow you to expand and grow. I love that.
Yes.
All right, Gems, it's time for your financial tips. So your financial gems for today are: build and maintain a good credit score and credit report. Know the difference, because there is a difference. Eric talked to you a little bit about that. Use your life insurance policy as your real savings account. It will benefit you better in the future. Y'all know I love my life insurance. I preach that as well. So save more than what you spend and invest what you save. Don't just save it and just put it in your pocket. You got to do something with it so that it can grow. Another one, don't be afraid to start off with free or discounted services so customers can get to know you and your businesses. You don't have to start out at a 10 out of 10 like Eric here started out free with free cuts, and then he got that people coming and learning who he was, learning about his services. So don't be scared to start off with free or discounted. And your final gem is buy slightly used or discounted equipment to stay within or under a budget. I like used. Anybody who know me, I love discount and I love used. Don't be scared to do that. And then as you grow, as I said before, then you can add on those bigger ticketed items to your business. All right, gems. It is our show custom to have every guest provide our gems with an inspirational quote. So Eric, what is your personal inspirational quote you would like to share with us today?
An inspirational quote.
Yes.
Well, for a lot of the barbers and stylists out there, clippers in a dream, always go in, always strive, always face your fears, and you can do anything in this world.
Yes, you can. Face your fears and you can do anything. Love it. I love it. I love it. Eric, thank you so much for being a guest on the show today and being part of our journey.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Gems, creating healthy financial habits is a lifelong journey and commitment. Remember, without change, there'll be no butterflies. Y'all know I love, that's my quote. Changing habits, changing lives, and changing futures are all up to you. Till next time, Gems, take care.
And what else? That's it. I'm an asshole. There's got to be more to it.
And there always is more behind the story. I mean, you can't just come out and just say you're an asshole without giving a reason why, because there's always two sides to the story. Like, maybe you don't think you're an asshole.